Let's get into some shite. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to mourn the passing of a true legend, a faithful companion, a tireless workhorse, a 17-inch beacon of aluminum-clad excellence, a warrior of silicon and aluminum, a steadfast companion through countless projects, and a machine that, thanks to my upgrades, was more powerful than Apple ever intended. My Apple MacBook Pro Core i7 2.8 mid-2010 is no more! After nearly 14 years of unwavering service, it met its untimely demise, not from a fried logic board, but in a cruel and ironic twist of fate at the paws of my Australian shepherd and a glass of water. Oh, this was no ordinary MacBook. No. This was a fully maxed out beast. I doubled its memory so it could think faster, work harder, and pretend it was still relevant in a world that abandoned the 17-inch MacBook long ago. I bestowed upon it a 1 terabyte hard drive, allowing it to hoard files, movies, and unfinished creative endeavors like a digital dragon guarding its precious data. It may have been born in 2010, but thanks to my tender care, it thrived well into a decade where Apple had long forgotten it. To my beloved MacBook Pro, I say this: you deserved better. You survived years of heavy processing loads, late-night creative binges, and countless software updates that tried to slow you down. You laughed in the face of Apple's planned obsolescence, soldiering on long past what Cupertino thought possible. While others fell to spinning beach balls of doom, you kept going. Your Intel Core i7 processor, once cutting edge, still holding strong. Your 1 terabyte hard drive filled with irreplaceable files. And your upgraded RAM, allowing you to perform feats of multitasking once thought impossible to your time. You were there for me through it all. You endured thousands of tabs in Chrome, the relentless demands of Adobe software, and my refusal to buy a new model because, let's be honest, they don't make them like you anymore. Plus, every guy loves the look you get in the coffee shop when you whip out 17 inches of glorious, colorful, cinematic screen. And you took every OS update as long as Apple would let you. And when they abandoned you, you carried on with sheer determination and third-party software patches. But in the end, you were no match for Keeley and Aquafina. You didn't go peacefully. No, you flickered. You fought. You tried to dry out, your fans whirring in a desperate attempt to survive. But alas, even your once mighty NVIDIA GeForce GTX 330M graphics card couldn't render you a future. As I lay you to rest in the great e-recycling bin in the sky, I know that somewhere in a digital afterlife, you are booting up swiftly, free from dust, overheating issues, and the tyranny of outdated software updates. Perhaps you're now in a place where your backlit keyboard shines eternally. Your SuperDrive is still relevant, and the magnetic power adapter never frays. Rest in peace, my noble MacBook Pro. May your circuits be forever cool, your battery eternally charged, and your startup chime ring forever in our hearts. Hi, folks. How are you? It's Rick Without a Tune podcast. You know, I got through that without messing up, and it was only the second time I read it. That's pretty awesome. Oh, man. I have here some hot tea. Oh, I need it now. Yeah, this is true. I hated to see this computer go. My favorite computer of all time. I don't know why I liked it so much. It was powerful. One thing, very powerful. 17-inch screen. Apple doesn't make that anymore. You can't even get it now. So I've resisted giving it up probably for that. It was totally outdated. I couldn't put any new software on it. I haven't been able to run new stuff in quite a while. And so what happens is I had to get a new computer. So now I have a new computer. And it's weird. I'm learning how to use a computer again. It's been so long since I've had updates. It's like, I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what this is. What's going on here? I feel so old. I feel like I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know. I think everything, I don't know if it's because when you get older, you slow down a bit, or if everything just starts coming at once. But I'm feeling more and more old, more and more aged. I don't know. They say, I think currently I'm kind of battling old age apathy. They say when you get old, you don't care what people think about you. And I think that's not the full story. The full story is when you get older, you just don't care. You don't care about stuff anymore. It's like, oh, that's nothing to me. I don't have time for that. I don't know. Middle-aged, man. I'm on the other side of middle-aged. I don't even like to say I'm middle-aged anymore. I'm climbing down. All right. How are you feeling? How are you doing? You know, spring is hitting hard. It's already here in Atlanta. It's we didn't even hardly get a winter, but I think there'll be some winter, more winter coming. But it feels good. I was out today. It's like a spring day out there. I'm pretty sure the flowers and trees will be budding soon, and everybody will forget that there was even a winter involved in our lives. I'm doing pretty good, feeling pretty good. I'm getting into new ventures. I'm doing new stuff, doing old stuff too. This week has been a couple of things. I'm really involved in the computer stuff. So let me tell you, I don't know if I'm a Mac guy. I've always had a Mac computer. I don't even know if I could turn a Windows computer on. Is it still Windows? Is that what they call them? I don't know. I know that who knows? But, well, you probably know. People know, right? Because Mac is like not even the top selling computer, I don't even think. I don't know. Don't quote me on anything. I'm not an expert on anything, all right? I just throw things out and pretend like I know what I'm talking about. So I'm a Mac guy. I've had a Mac computer my whole life, and so now here's what happens. My computer's fried, right? Tried to make it survive. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do anything about it. Left it upside down overnight. Some people say put rice on it. I did some checking, and they say don't put rice on it. Don't start it up. Don't put rice on it. And it's old and all of this stuff. I just kind of thought, there's just nothing I can do about it. I just have to let this go, right? So 24 hours later, I tried to start it up. It wouldn't start up, and it's just gone. So then I make the dumb decision. I'm going to take the back off of it because I'm going to see if there's water in there. And I take the back off of it. Easy to do. And I look, and I don't see any water anywhere. But it's it's the keyboard. So I get a YouTube channel on how to get into the keyboard, how to replace the keyboard on this model. And I'm like, cool. All right, I can do that. And the guy says, this is one of the hardest things you could do. There's the clue. Stop. All right. Not me. No, I'm like, well, I could do it. Sure. Let me just say I've done things like this before, and I've never succeeded. Rarely succeeded, I should say. So I just decided I'm going to take the back off, and then I'm going to start taking. So he's like, he goes through this whole thing: take off these screws, take off this screw, and then you got to pull this out, and then you got to do it. And you start taking everything out, and then you have to take out hard drives and things, and you have to unhook little patches, little connectors, a little thing, just, a lot of stuff. I'm getting nervous. I got a bunch of screws on my table. I don't know where they go back. I told myself I would remember. I should have marked them. I should have videotaped the entire thing, the entire thing, so I could just play it backwards and remember it. I tried to play the guy's video backwards. It didn't work. I don't know what he's talking about. I barely knew what I was talking about forward. So I get it all the way through. I get into the keyboard. I get the keyboard out. I look. I don't see water anywhere. It's still not working, but I can't see water anywhere. I clean it off. There's a lot of dust, so I dust it off. And then I start putting it back. And then I realize I have a table full of screws. I can't remember what order that I took them on. I don't know what this one goes to. I can't remember where they go, who goes to what go. And so I tried to put it together, and then I'm trying to put little patches back on, like I had the motherboard off, and I tried to put things. I broke it. I broke something. And then I was like, oh no, I wonder if that was important. Oh, sure, it's important. And then I broke another thing. At that point, I was like, forget it. That's done. I've broken and ruined my computer. Time to order another one. Well, I figured out a way to go ahead and order one and just make payments, which is what I did. So I have a new computer now, which fine. I needed a new computer. I'm very happy about it. I'm not happy to lose the other one, though. It's sad. It shouldn't have gone that way. It deserved more. It deserved a proper burial. My dog and water. See, my dog, every night we sit down in our chairs to watch a movie or TV or something, murder. We watch a lot of murder, people dying. You know that there's something wrong in this world when we watch TV and go, oh, I've seen this murder before. Dang, can we not get a new murder somewhere? Tired of watching the same murders over and over. God. That's my house. My dog, every time we sit down to watch TV, decides she needs to do her show, which involves her running to her toy box, pulling out one or two toys. Sometimes she'll get two, and coming in and then throwing the toys up in the air, just slinging them around and throwing them. This is what Australian Shepherds do. And it's a little performance she has to do every night. So as soon as that happens, my wife covers her wine glass. We start packing things away because it's going to be danger. So I had been doing computer work, and she throws something in the air, and there's a cup of water, almost empty. It's probably got 1.5 inches, 2 inches of water in the very bottom of it. She hits that. It's a direct hit with the cup to go right on the keyboard. Went right in. Shut the computer down. It would not start again. That's how it happens. So, new computer. There we go. Speaking of new. All right, I have a story for you. I got to tell you, this also happened last week. I think it happened the week before. All right. And this is why, one of the reasons why I was slow in doing a podcast. For number one, I didn't think, I was telling you the story. I didn't even finish telling the story. Let me tell you really quick. Mac computers, I thought everything was ruined. I got tons of files on that computer. I thought it was all gone. All of my podcast stuff is on that computer. I thought my podcast was over. I didn't think I was going to be able to ever find anything again. Here's what I discovered. Now, I kind of know Macs do this. It's sort of easy. But first of all, everything's kind of backed up, you hope, to the cloud. And I wasn't even sure that because the computer was so old, I wasn't even sure it would back up. But I took the hard drive out, okay? Took the hard drive out of the computer, saved that. And then I kind of found out that all I have to do is just get a cable and plug the cable into the new computer, and it'll just it'll just like suck up. That's what it does, like a vacuum cleaner. It sucks up all the files and then puts somewhere that needs to go. I'm pretty sure that's the technical thing. It just sucks it up. Like, so I did that. I ran down to Best Buy, got a little cable, put it on there. Then I just thought, it can't be that easy, can it? Maybe, I don't know. The hard drive looked brand new. It was really good shape. So I plug it in, and then I start up the brand new computer, and it says, do you want to take files from another location? I was like, yeah, I want to go from this hard drive right here. Just suck them up. Just turn on your little sucker and put all the files in there, the data and stuff. And it was like, oh, okay. Okay, sure, I'll do that. And so it did. And I walked away, said it'll take 6 hours to complete. All right. And so I thought, all right, I'll make dinner, get up and do dinner. I come back and it had fallen to like 45 minutes. 6 hours didn't even pass. The amount of time kept getting less and less. And then it was 45 minutes, it'll be done. I was like, whoa, that's cool. So in about an hour, all of my files were on the computer. My computer ran, it was basically running from the old software in a way, kind of like. I mean, everything was set up all the way, all of the settings, everything. It was just like having my computer back, except it was brand new. I got all of my files back, everything. I could do my podcast now. Can't wait. Wait till I do my Oh, I'm doing it now. Sorry. So there you go. Macs, man, they can do some really cool stuff. No, it was just like so simple. The hardest thing was actually spending the money. They're expensive. Anyway, so that's the cool thing. Now, just let's put a period on it. Victor Morga. So here's what happened really like 2 weeks ago. So now let me tell you, this is a story. This is a personal story. And it involves personal people, involves people who I'm not going to talk about in public. So we keep privacy going, right? So I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to mention locations. I'm not going to mention things except the story as it's my story. I'll mention that part. And, but it's okay. Well, it doesn't matter who the people are to you. You don't care, do you? Here we go. Well, let's do a little background here. So if you listen to the podcast or have been listening to any of my podcasts, you might have heard me say that I do a lot of genealogy. I like to do genealogy research. I have done it for years. It kind of gets obsessive, and so I do. I had to stop because I would be doing it until like 4 and 5 in the morning, just getting information, looking for things, filling out the family tree, and just nonstop. So there was a time in my life, probably in my 30s, when and going into my 40s, when I just did it really kind of obsessively, and I filled out. So I have like almost 9,000 people in my family tree, just real extensive. So I've been a member of Ancestry.com for quite a while, and I got a lot of my information there. Met a few people. Now, if you've been on Ancestry, here's what happens. You put your tree on, and then people read your tree, and they're like, oh, maybe he knows who my uncle is. And then random people contact you, and they're like, do you know Uncle Bob? I'm like, I don't even know who you are. I don't know Uncle Bob. Sorry. And so I just kind of got to the point where I just ignored people when they start contacting me because I don't know who they are. And every once in a while, they'll have the same last name as you. And you're like, oh, okay, that might be a cousin right there. But I don't know who they want, and I don't know. And plus, I kind of don't have time. So I just sort of started ignoring people. It's a really friendly thing to do. But I just remember, so I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I took a DNA test. Remember when that was a big thing? And I put it up on Ancestry because I wanted to see where my family's from. See the breakdown, Scottish people and German and Irish and English and all that. And so that was kind of cool for a while. But it stays on there, right? And then what happens is people start going, hey, I think I'm your cousin, because they put their DNA on and it matches them up. Here we go. Let me get my tea. It matches them up. See, I should edit that out, right? I don't know why I don't edit stuff. No one wants to hear that. Anyway, you'll get matched up to people through your DNA, which is cool. You know, it's a good way to meet cousins and stuff. But I can remember like 3 years ago. No, it was 2020 at first, so 5 years ago. Holy crap. Someone contacted me and said, hey, we have a lot in common, a lot of ancestors. We should connect. And I was like, yeah, you and everybody else. Sorry, I got no time. And plus, I think at the time I had sort of gotten rid of I was getting ready to let my membership expire. Didn't have time to do it anymore. I was doing other things. So I was just like, I don't really have time. So about a year and a half later, that same person contacts me again and says, hi, I think you're my brother. And I was like, you crazy person. And I just laughed and I was just like, first of all, I'm not adopted. All right. And I know my parents had 7 kids. They didn't adopt any out. They probably would like to have adopted the ones that they had, but they didn't. So I was like, you're on the wrong track. Get out of here. I got no time for it. And I just dismissed. I didn't even respond. I don't think I sent anything to the person. So I forgot about the person. Now my membership lapsed, and I haven't been on Ancestry.com in 2 years, I guess. But I guess it was just this past autumn or winter when I decided, I need to fill out a few things here on my family tree, and I can't access it without a membership. So I'm going to do that for 1 month. I'm going to do it. So for 1 month, I joined up so I could get some information that I needed. And while I was online, I saw those messages from people, and I saw the message from the person who was like, I think you're my brother. And it gave me another good laugh. And then I looked at the DNA results that this person had. And the DNA results said that she's my half sister. And then I looked for the first time. I could see the person's photo. They didn't post a photo before, but I could see the person's photo, and I was like, holy crap, this girl looks exactly like my dad. She looked just like my dad, and just like my dad's sister, and just like my sisters. And at that point, I kind of paid attention, and I was like, wait a minute. Now, I'm a science person, so the DNA science says that this person is my half-sister, but the visual illustrations that I'm getting here from the photo says she's my half-sister because she looked like my dad. So at that point, I was like, okay, maybe I need to send this person a message. So I did. I sent her a message, and I just said, hey, remember you sent me something, and I don't think I ever paid attention to it, but I just paid attention to it, and uh-oh. And so here's what's weird. I never once, when she said that, it never entered my mind that my dad could have fathered a child outside of his marriage with my mother. It never entered my mind. I just thought my mother and my dad did not have an extra kid. All right. So that's over. That's it, period. I don't know why it never entered my mind, especially knowing my dad. I never thought about it. So I just dismissed it. So I started kind of communicating with this person, and this person said, well, I've been looking for my dad for over 60 years, and I know nothing about my dad. My mother doesn't really know anything. She didn't remember his name. So apparently this was just like an encounter that happened quickly, right? She remembered, and now this person doesn't know anything about me. She knows nothing about where I'm from, and she knows nothing about anything about me personally. But the person said, My mother remembered that the man was somewhere from East Tennessee, which is where I'm from and where my dad was from. Well, okay, there's a little flag there. That makes sense. So we chatted a little bit, and the more I chatted, the more information that I got, the more I'm feeling like, and she sent me many more photos, and the more photos I got, I was like, man, this person looks like my dad in a dress. This is just a little startling here. And so I called my brother. And, I don't talk to my family a whole lot, but this is one of those things you just really need to talk about. So we chatted, and I said, well, I got some news here I want to run past you. So he was just as surprised as me. We chatted a lot about it. He grilled me on a lot of the information that I had, and the more he heard, the more he was like, this looks like it could be true. Well, we decided not to tell my mother. My mother is in probably poor health, I guess, but she's 80-something years old. It's not something you want to be like, hey, Dad just had another kid and we didn't know about and just came into our lives. And I don't know. I'm like, maybe that's not the thing you want to hear. So we kind of decided not to say anything. And but my brother was like, well, I'm going to try to get some information. So what I kind of thought was this person, from what I pieced together, this person was born in 64, I was born in 62. This was a couple years later. My brother and sister were born in the winter of 64. So I kind of felt like if this person was born in 64, they could have been like early on. And we kept trying to do all the math on this, so it had to be like my dad went on a business trip. He was out of town or something, and he was like fooling around. I don't know, but we're trying to find out all the information. Let me just say, my dad, this wouldn't have been outside of his personality. My dad did some things that were probably in poor judgment, especially at that age. So we're trying to figure it out. My brother just tries to, coyly mention to my mother, because we found out that this happened in a certain city. And so my brother says, hey, didn't you tell me that Dad had a job? When the year that I was born, Dad had a job in this city. I kind of remember you telling me something like that. My mother said, no, not that I'm aware of. She said he did do an internship in that city before we got married, but I don't think he ever had a job down there. So that killed that. That sort of took away that puzzle piece. So I get back in touch with the girl, the mysterious girl, and I say, I'm not sure what year were you born? I think I saw you were born in 64. Is that true? And she says, no, I was born in 1960. And the date she was born was before. She would have been conceived before my parents got married and possibly before they got engaged. I don't even know if they were dating at that time. So my dad didn't step outside of marriage to have this person. It was before that. Puzzle piece falls into place. Well, now we kind of know. I'm looking at pictures. So this person's sending me pictures of her kids. Her kids look like my dad. I don't think that there's any more question about it. Everything seems to be answering my questions. And now, like I've told my brother, now my whole family knows. My mother knows now. Everybody knows. My mother's fine. She knows. She knew what my dad was doing. We just kind of figured this was 6 years ago, which my mother's not going to be crushed about it. And now, we know what happened before they were even together. What are you going to do? So this person now has found who her dad is after 60-something years. And, holy crap, I have a new sister I didn't know anything about. And how did that happen? I don't know. I just put some DNA online to see if I had any Irish in me. And that's what happens. You get a sister if you do that. It's like a special package deal from Ancestry.com. You know where your heritage is, what country your ancestors come from, and you get a sister in the whole thing. So anyway, that was my life last week. That and a computer. I got a new computer and a new sister. And I was going to make a joke that wouldn't go over well. Anyway, that's it, man. My throat's about gone thanks to my eulogy to my computer. I do want to thank you for hanging out with me and dropping in this week to listen to the podcast. I had a rough week getting things together. I really thought I was back on track of getting a podcast out every week. So let's see if I could do it next week. Just pay attention. Just wait. Hold on. I think I can make it happen, right? But I hope you're doing well. Today's Valentine's Day. I'm just reminding you, if you forgot, you might want to run out and do something nice for your Valentine. My wife and I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. And yesterday with her birthday, and we didn't grow up in families that really celebrate birthdays, especially birthdays from older sisters that you didn't know exist. Yeah, we didn't celebrate birthdays much. So we did go out and have a little birthday dinner last night, which is kind of what we do on our birthdays. And then today's Valentine's Day, which we'll probably do nothing. I think she's going out with somebody else tonight. That's how we celebrate in this family. I hope you have a much better celebration. If you want to say hi to me on line, I'm kind of around on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. And let me know if you're here. Listen to the podcast. It's lonely here. No one ever says hi. I sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night crying, weeping, because I don't know if I'm doing this all by myself or not.